All right, welcome to Speak For Yourself. I am Jason Whitlock. That is Marcellus Wiley, that dude.
I'm sorry.
For what? Coming up, we'll tell you if UVA was lucky to win the title last night. But we start today with Aaron Rodgers and the Bleacher Report story published last week about Rodgers' relationship with the Packers and former head coach Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers has responded to that story that painted his relationship with McCarthy as toxic from the outset and as the main reason the Packers have just one Super Bowl victory during Rodgers' career. Speaking to a radio station in Milwaukee, Rodgers labeled the article a hit piece and questioned the credibility of the sources quoted.
You know, the thing is about this article, it's not a mystery. This was a smear attack by, a writer looking to advance his career, talking with mostly irrelevant, bitter players who all have an agenda, whether they're advancing their own careers or just trying to stir old stuff up. The crazy thing is there's super slanted opinions in that piece stated as fact. And then there's quote-unquote facts, which are just outright lies. If I really dislike Mike that much, why would I re-sign? This idea that I had this grudge against him for years is absolutely ridiculous. It's just not true. I mean, where was that grudge in 10 when we won the Super Bowl? Where was that grudge when we won 19 games in a row? Because I will tell you this about Mike, and if you look at the comments I've made about him over the years, I love Mike McCarthy. Mike has been a huge part of my success in my career, and I've had some amazing moments on and off the field with Mike. We have had issues, no doubt about it. Any long relationship has issues. But the way that we dealt with those issues, Mike and I, was face-to-face.
All right, let me be clear. I like and respect Tyler Dunn, the author of the Bleacher Report story, and I like and respect and work with Greg Jennings, one of the on-the-record sources in the Bleacher Report story. But I'm sympathetic to Rodgers. He appears to be the kind of person who is strong-willed and comfortable with conflict. I'm that way. People like that are easily misunderstood and mischaracterized. The Bleacher Report story stated that Rodgers held a grudge against McCarthy because the San Francisco 49ers selected Alex Smith number 1 overall in the 2005 draft. Rodgers was the 24th pick in that draft. McCarthy was the 49ers offensive coordinator in 2005. It's hard for me to believe that Rodgers held a grudge against McCarthy for a decision made by then 49ers head coach Mike Nolan and general manager Scott McCloughan. Here's what Rodgers had to say specifically about Jennings and former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley.
It bothers me that every time there's an article, it's the same two people. And if there's not an article about me, do you ever hear their name anywhere else? Do they get interviews with people? Are they out there making comments? Are they making the rounds on the shows? I would say probably not. So I would say, at what point do you move on? You talk about me being sensitive and petty. At what point do you move on or stop telling the same stories? Like, really? A conversation with Carlos Rodgers on the field and making a joke about his situation? That's what you're going to hold on to?
Rodgers is on much shakier ground here. It's a mistake to dismiss the criticism of teammates that you work closely with for a significant period of time. We all know there are 3 sides to every story. All right, former Pro Bowl receiver TJ Houshmandzadeh joins Marcellus and I. Marcellus, I'll start with you. Who do you believe more here, Bleacher Report or Aaron Rodgers?
First, let me just say, scorched earth. Aaron Rodgers is going there. He's trying to protect a lot of people, and I think he's trying to protect the history and the exchanges he had with his coaches, his teammates. But I'm with Aaron Rodgers on this one. I will say this. Aaron Rodgers is highly intelligent, savvy, slighted, and unapologetic. I've had my own issues with Aaron Rodgers, and I've seen him avoid me certain situations, and I didn't think anything about it because I know who he was, I know who he is, and I know what he felt. And when you're a person like that, walking around apologizing for things is not necessarily a part of your DNA. So in a situation where, let's say, Greg Jennings, and Greg, you misconstrued my joke. I'm not going to apologize for my joke. I'm just going to say, oh, you felt a certain type of way, let's get together, or It's a joke. And I think he's living in that hemisphere where a lot of other people are not in that same hemisphere and they feel a certain way. Aaron Rodgers is not sitting here cleaning up his mess and anything he messes up. He's a guy that says, I do what I do. I've already thought about it. I'm highly calculated. And I will go forward. And you guys deal with it the way you want to deal with it. But stop being redundant with the same thing. Stop trying to increase the volume on the same song. Like, play another track. You got another track? And from what I've seen, I don't see his fingerprints. I don't see the evidence of Aaron Rodgers at the scene all the time of all these incidents. It's a lot of circumstantial talk. And it's gotten a little dated, and I'm with Aaron Rodgers on this one. Like, if you got something new, bring it. We'll talk about it. I probably won't apologize, but I'll move forward, and I'll move forward with a different wisdom. Until we see that place, it's kind of old, dead news.
I mean, it has to be some truth in the article. Guy's not going to spend this much time on it and not be some truth to it. But this is the first time Aaron Rodgers has actually come out and kind of defended himself. And it's like, man, I had enough, man. I got to get this off my chest. I got to let y'all know where I'm coming from. Now, you look at it from this perspective. If Greg Jennings, who I respect and we work with, if you hear your quarterback tell another DB on another team, hey, y'all need to come get him because he ain't going to be here next year. If I'm a receiver, I'm like, hold up. I'm pissed off about you, the quarterback. If you want me here, you can make sure that that happens. So anything that has happened prior to that, if I'm Greg, now I'm going to closely re-examine that and look into it like, it starts to make sense. For Aaron Rodgers, it's a joke. He probably didn't even think he said. He don't even remember saying it until Greg probably brought it up. And so he's looking at it from.
Would you address it right then in the moment, though? If I'm Greg and I'm bothered, why not say, Aaron, what the hell you doing?
I would have addressed it after the game. If it's prior to the game, I'm not going to bring it up prior to the – I would address it after the game like, bro, were you serious about that? And he would have said what he said or what you talking about?
Yeah.
And we would have got it right there. But for Greg, he probably held it in and was like, oh, okay, this is probably – I realize I'm not going to be here. Greg didn't like it. I don't mind Greg saying what he said because that's how he feels. Now, Aaron Rodgers, you come out and say it's a joke. Well, once Greg said what he said a while ago about you should have just said a long time ago, Greg, I'm sorry, man, that's a joke. Or if you took it the wrong way, since he's unapologetic, I didn't mean it that way, man. It was a joke, just having fun.
But he did mean it that way. And I think, first of all, the hit dog hollers, right? You know why? Because that hit Greg somewhere where Greg was like, damn. It's one thing to be, and I've been there on the top of the hill coming down, whatever the situation. I'm not going to be in San Diego next year. Whatever the situation, and you're the man in the mirror, we have a great conversation. It's painful, but it hurts more when y'all are now ear hustling the same conversation. When TJ knows, when my coaches know, when I start hearing the whispers, when y'all don't laugh at the jokes the same, when y'all start sniping at me, that makes me feel even worse. And that's not on Aaron Rodgers to make him feel better. It's on him to feel better or play better to where there's no conversation. When Greg Jennings was getting it, say that same joke. Guess what Greg gonna say? Ha, okay.
Right, I'm gonna be here.
I'm gonna be here. What you talking about? But it's when you know there's a lot of truth in that one. That's the problem.
And again, I have a lot of respect for the Bleacher Report story. I talked about it last week, tweeted about how good I thought it was. And even saying that, because I've worked in the media and I've profiled people, I've been profiled, it's hard to get it all right. And so I think that Aaron Rodgers has a case here, and because I even when I read the article initially, and this is not a criticism of Tyler, but it's just factual how I felt. I was like, are we really supposed to believe that Aaron Rodgers is so petty that he blames the offensive coordinator of the 49ers in 2005 for not drafting him? When Aaron Rodgers is smart, we contend, he knows the offensive coordinator ain't making that call.
Thank you.
It's the head coach and the general manager, and it's the owner. You know, when you talk about the number one pick, a lot of voices have a say in that. 7th round, 6th round pick, yeah, the coach and the GM, y'all on your own. But the ownership has a stake in that. And so I just don't, that was hard for me to believe. And then, so I think for Aaron Rodgers, when you start a story with a misconception, it taints the rest of the story. Again, I've been profiled and been mischaracterized. And I'm a difficult person like Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to just spend my whole life explaining everything that I did, and it makes you hard to understand. And so I guess I'm glad Aaron Rodgers has done this. I will say this as we move to a little second layer. I do think there's some lessons for Aaron Rodgers to learn from all of this drama. The Bleacher Report story and just the years of his teammates and others chirping at him. There are some adjustments that I think he needs to make, but I don't see him moving that direction.
Well, I actually do. I think that him being highly calculated, he's going to suppress more. I think that you're going to see a guy who's going to move different. And I think he has moved differently over the years as teammate after teammate starts to take their little snipes, and he starts to realize, okay, I'm not going to be the same leader I could have been. So what does that mean? In certain situations, he doesn't overextend himself. People got to be calculated and understand what we're talking about. When Ty Montgomery fumbles that ball, everyone says if Aaron Rodgers would have hugged him and said it's okay, everything would have been fine. But Aaron Rodgers has now been in a vulnerable position where he's like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I'm a great leader by just hugging a guy and saying it's okay, but it's not okay. Then he goes to his kicker, Crosby, when he misses all his field goals, and he's like, hey, man, everything's okay. That's what we're seeing right now. Aaron Rodgers is not knowing exactly how to move because it's not how he wants to move. He lives in a different atmosphere where we're playing sports. Suck it up. It's a joke. Why are you mad? I don't agree with this play. This is a dumb call. I actually like teammates like that because they're expressing their truth. But everybody can't handle the truth. People always say, tell your truth. But then they also say, the truth hurts. Well, then, damn, which way is it going to go? So for Aaron Rodgers, he's a little callous right now. He's moving differently because he can't really express who he really is.
So the narrative on Aaron Rodgers can change. He's had Mike McCarthy as his coach his entire NFL career. Now you have these new coaches coming in. They've read this story. They hear what we're talking about. They see all of this. Now, Matt LaFleur and his coaching staff gets in there. They can now change how Aaron Rodgers is viewed by the media, by the people in the NFL. And, he's not the guy that everybody made him out to be. If he goes in there with a different attitude and says, okay, I'm going to change the narrative of how people see me, he's not going to be the one that can get that story out there. It's going to be the others, these coaches, these new teammates, and say, he's nothing like this.
But I do believe it starts with Aaron Rodgers because I'm telling you, I'm sitting here today feeling like I've been a person that's been mischaracterized. But I had to dig really deep and ask, why? Why me? And some of it is on me. And there are things that I had to change. I couldn't wait for some executive to change them for me. I had to make some changes, and I'm a little bit fear. And again, I like the fact that he pushed back, but I don't like the fact that given that Mike McCarthy was just fired, given a story like this doesn't come from out of nowhere. He knew it was coming. And to me, when Matt LaFleur gets that job, I make damn sure I get with him face to face as soon as possible.
Right away.
Yeah, but here's the problem. All right, one, you're in a different field. You're not in the meritocracy of sports.
Great point.
I've been
Great point.
In sports, it's like, dude, I don't care how you really feel.
All subjective.
How many sacks I get? All right, shut your trap, right? Here's a relationship business to a larger degree. So Aaron Rodgers is now caught once again. Do I get into this production of persona, which means as soon as the new coach is hired, hey, I'm in your office, here's your apple, how you doing? Or I'm like, I'm gonna be me. And what happens is I'm gonna blame the media more, the journalism, protections of journalism more than Aaron Rodgers. Here's the reason. We know people lie. We know people exaggerate. We know people clout chase. We know people can't let stuff go. And then who are the writers? Who are the media personalities? People. And when that translates into work, all of a sudden, we don't keep that in mind when we're reading these pieces. Like maybe somebody just didn't let it go. Maybe somebody is exaggerating. Maybe somebody got a kernel and turned it into a mountain. Like all those elements need to be kept in mind when we're reading these articles. If not,
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Aaron Rodgers said.
He's like, y'all blowing this out of proportion. Yeah, I did some things, but I'm not gonna apologize for my joke. I wouldn't apologize for a joke either. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard much worse about me, and I've said much worse.
I've apologized.
Oh, I've apologized, but for a joke?
I've had to, because I got a nasty sense
Okay,
of
you
humor.
go
I've
there.
had to apologize.
For that joke? I love Greg, but that joke meant Greg was hurt.
But see that there was other things that led up to that
Had to.
that Greg, when he heard that, he was like, okay, this is where we going now.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't the only thing. It had to have been more.
Whitlock and Wiley, joined now by NBA champion and former Pac-10 Player of the Year Eddie House, and Fox College basketball insider Aaron Torres. Time now for a big story. Let's move to last night's title game, where Virginia beat Texas Tech in an overtime thriller to win their first ever national championship. UVA dominated once the game went to overtime, but had to pull off an absurd comeback in the final seconds of regulation just to get there, which was par for the course for UVA in this tournament. UVA had several wild comebacks in the final 15 seconds of games, including last night down 3, down 4 to Auburn in the Final Four, and down 3 to Purdue in the Elite Eight. For those comebacks and the calls that they got, that overturned possession deal, a guy trips and falls over his own teammate, and somehow they call a foul on Texas Tech. Luckiest title run I've ever seen in my life. They got lucky.
They did get lucky. Yes, they did. And that's a necessary element to all success. So it's amazing we try to carve out what was the degree of luck for your championship run. Don't do that, because we got to rewrite the history books. Okay, Houston Rockets, when they win 2 championships and there's no MJ. Look how lucky y'all are. Well, guess what? Give me my ring, too. Okay, 2 rings, actually. The Golden State, no Kyrie, no Kevin Love. And going out there and going to win that one, and then you flip it on the other side. Draymond gets suspended. Lucky y'all. And, it's always about how much does it break your way. I've been a victim of that, never won a Super Bowl. My greatest chance was the Music City Miracle. I would have taken a little luck that day, which meant that call goes our way instead of against it.
Bad luck.
Exactly. And that's the problem. So we have to respect a team that was knocked out by a 16 seed last year on a mission, and things broke their way this year, whereas last year they didn't.
Well, when I was in Minneapolis last week, this was a big topic of conversation because you talk about bad luck. People forget DeAndre Hunter, the guy that had 27 points last night, he was their star last year too. He got hurt a day before the tournament. And so you never make an excuse for losing to a 16 seed, but they had an incredible stroke of bad luck last year. I think they got a lot of luck this year. But at the end of the day, I look at last night, they shot over 50% from the field in the second half. They hit 20 of 23 foul shots, 45% from 3 against a great defense. I thought they got lucky to get there, but I thought they earned it last night.
Well, like Marcellus said, and it's always luck involved when you win a championship. You got to be good and lucky, great and lucky, and they were lucky throughout the whole tournament. But I think they created their own luck. They made their own breaks, and the reason how they made it, they stayed true to who they are and what they are. Disciplined basketball team. We're not going to have anybody on our team get out of their body and try to take over the game and do anything extra. The moment's not going to be too big for anybody. They have a system offensively and defensively, and you talk about I'm talking about the discipline. Look at the execution of the last 2 games, the semifinal and the final. Look at the shots that they got. DeAndre Hunter, they execute that play to perfection. He gets a wide open shot in the corner. Kyle Guy gets a shot against Auburn, wide open in the corner. They execute offensively, and then on the flip side, you look at Texas Tech's poor execution at the end of the game and the defensive execution of Virginia. So, in regulation. So you look at, you're lucky, but also they made themselves be lucky because they put themselves in a position.
But again, let's just be honest. As fans, when you were sitting back watching that last night, it's like, damn, how many breaks can they get? Because Texas Tech, when the guy was driving at the end of regulation, was driving to take that 2-pointer, and 2 defenders came running at him to stop him from getting the 2. I'm like, are you crazy? They up 3. Why are you leaving Hunter, this kid wide open?
Not discipline. That's the difference between these two. That's why they got all the lucky bounces and lucky breaks, because they stayed true to what they true. It tends to happen like that. We call them the basketball gods. The basketball gods shine on you when you are doing the right thing. And that's exactly what happened last night. And it wasn't even that. I think they were battle tested. And it started last year. Everybody wants to talk about redemption, but last year has nothing to do with their run this year. I think they were battle tested. They came into the game because they could have easily folded in round 1. They're down 14 to Gardner-Webb. They came back. You talk about a dogfight against Oregon, grind game. And even Purdue, and then this game. What they really do great, though, they force, if you watch Virginia play, nobody takes them out of how they're going to play. It seems like they always control the tempo, the pace of the game. And nobody is able to crack that code and say, okay, you guys are going to play our style today. Everybody conforms and plays their style, and that's also being disciplined and part of being good.
And let's not get too carried away here. This is a #1 seed, damn it. I mean,
Right.
oh, they so lucky. How they get there? They're the #1 seed.
Right, back-to-back years.
Yeah, back-to-back years. So great coaching, veterans out there, experienced players. They stayed disciplined. They played all 40 minutes. And this is the conundrum all athletes face. The old adage, you'd rather be lucky or good. And when you're super talented, I know I've raised my hand and seen 1,000 guys raise their hands. I would take a little off my 40 time, take a little off my bench press and my squat just to give me a little more of that luck, you know? Because so what you could jump out the gym, so what you could all that, but is it working for you? Are you going to be there and available at the right moments and stay in character? That's what Virginia exemplified yesterday. The fact that no matter what comes their way, Auburn games, what was it? They were down for 7 seconds. They weren't even biting the towels. They were just sitting there like, we're going to do the next play. Last night, down 2, they hit the three-pointer, and you're looking and they're like, that's just what we do. We're ready for these moments from beginning to end.
I was going to say that's my thing is you can argue they were a little lucky to be there, but they did execute in those big moments. The 3 foul shots in a row with basically no time left on the clock. Last night, the DeAndre Hunter three-pointer in the corner. You can be lucky and good, too.
To get to that point, though, to shoot that three-pointer, the execution of that play,
Yep.
side out of bounds, execution, and the poor execution by the defense. We're not giving anything going towards the basket. We're going to protect the corners, but they don't do that. See, so they take advantage, and that's coaching. Coaching, you watch film after film and say, who can I put in position I know they're going to mess up? We call them dinosaur brains. We're going to put the dinosaur brains guy in the middle of the play because they dumb. They going to mess up.
I'll say this. I think we all got a little lucky last night because my expectations for this game were terrible.
Preach,
And
preach.
they super exceeded that. TJ Houshmandzadeh's back. Time for today's rewarding performance, sponsored by the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. All right, let's move to Dallas, where the Cowboys just gave defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence one of the biggest contracts ever for a non-quarterback, and now want their quarterback to take one for the team. Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones, Jerry's son, said yesterday that Dak's next deal needs to be, quote, team-friendly, so they can build a supporting cast around him to win championships. Stephen Jones is preaching my language. I totally agree with him. Dak needs to take a hometown discount, and I think they have a lot of leverage over Dak. And so is it smart for them to publicly announce this? I don't think it's necessarily smart, but I think they have so much leverage it doesn't matter.
I think they have a ton of leverage, and it's very smart of them to do it this way. This is the Cowboy way. They have the greatest fan base of all the football teams in this country. Let's just be real about that. It's the greatest. In terms of numbers, in terms of passion, they travel.
Chiefs! I'm sorry.
Man, but boy, stop. I didn't say the loudest stadium. The Chiefs have the loudest stadium, but the greatest fan base. I played for the Cowboys 1 year. Wish I could have did it a little longer because I felt that love. It's different. They talk through the media to their great fan base. Jerry Jones holds a press conference every week in the tunnel, you know, and Stephen Jones is talking to the media and resetting the expectations, but also respecting Dak Prescott. He's resetting them because Clarence Hill went out there and wrote that he's probably a $27 to $30 million quarterback, and the Cowboys want the fan base to know that he's not going to be that. In the court of public opinion, we need you on our side to understand that DeMarcus Lawrence and others are taking all the food, and there's going to be some leftovers for Dak, but it's going to be at a team-friendly deal. And Dak is going to have to respect that because he doesn't have the leverage and the options to go elsewhere.
I mean, we don't know that he won't have options. I don't like the fact that they put this out there publicly. Number one, what is team-friendly? Where does that number?
24 million.
20, low 20.
23,
So
24 million.
I said during the season I thought anything between 22 and 25 was fine. Now they're talking about 25 to 28. If I'm Dak Prescott and team friendly is 25, when I sign?
What up, friend?
When do I sign?
Might be more friendly than that.
And so
Maybe 22.
I mean, you gotta. I look at it from this
21.
perspective. Is he better than Derek Carr? You'd say what and what? Derek Carr at $25 million a year. He signed that contract a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Alex Smith is at 23 and a half. You would say he's better than Alex Smith. We gonna
You
take.
would?
I would.
Yeah, you would. Make sure. Don't say we.
Yeah.
You wouldn't?
You would.
I would.
What'd you say?
I would rather have Dak Prescott as my quarterback over Alex Smith.
Well, he's hurt
Me.
right now. You mean
When he's not hurt. When he's
let
not,
me scoot over,
when
Whitlock.
he's not hurt.
You
I would.
would.
Yes, I would.
I
Just
hear
make
you.
clear on that.
Now-
That's TJ Hushman's side.
Yes, I would. I would prefer Dak
YouTube
Prescott.
him, not me.
Now, if team friendly, if we talking 24, 25 million, I like that team friendly contract.
What's
if I'm
the
Dak
problem
Prescott.
with them putting it out there publicly, though? Why don't you like that?
It just, for him, it just doesn't, it's like you're telling me I got to take this or else. I
agree
don't
with
like
you.
that.
I know you.
I think
don't
there's
like
a little
that.
risk of just getting his pride engaged and backing him into a corner, and then all of a sudden, he comes out of character and wants to buck against the system. I do think there is some risk in that, but again, I just go back to Dak Prescott has to be smart enough to realize without a supporting cast, man, without a full team, he's not a guy that is getting a big $30 million contract will put too much pressure on him.
But you know what? If he's smart, you'd rather eat a bunch of small meals than one large one.
But
You said that.
Yeah.
If-
You
if-
get
if
lean,
he's
but you don't
smart-
get fat.
No.
He's trying to get fat and full off
Hey.
this contract.
No, that's not a we statement. That's a team statement.
Eat a bunch of small meals instead of one large one, and you'll never be hungry.
Well, look, we saw him without Ezekiel Elliott during the suspension. That wasn't the best Dak Prescott. 1. 2, I understand where you're coming from in terms of if he's going to lose in the contract, at least let him win in public favor.
Of course.
Like, let the man look good even though he's taking an L, right? So I understand that point. But here's where Dak is, and this is the worst place to be in a negotiation. A lot of people say it's tough to do business with your friends and your family. That's tough. You know what's tougher? To do business with somebody who's looking at you like they doing you a favor. Because guess what? Oh, my God. They are about to sun you in this negotiation.
Like, I really don't need you, but this is what I'm offering.
This is what I'm offering. I swear Dallas is coming from that mindset because they talk to other GMs. Those guys hop on the plane at the combine. The owners see each other. What you think of that? I mean, they break bread that way, and then they go out there and they do the poker face. I don't know if Dak was not a Dallas Cowboy, he would get anything close to what the Cowboys are going to offer him. And this is a great situation where you make money a lot of different ways. So he's going to make it wearing that star.
But listen to what you just said that opened my mind to another thought in terms of why are they putting this out there publicly? Because just like you, they would prefer that Dak come out of this looking good and make it. You know what? Dak wanted to take a team-friendly deal because
Right.
he wanted to build a supporting cast. He did the right thing for the Cowboys. They clearly, to me, are putting this out there because the early signs from Dak and his agent is like, oh, we're going to have to wrestle here a little bit. So let's start the wrestling match right now.
Now, I don't know if that's coming from Dak and his agent. I think that's coming from the climate. There's a Le'Veon Bell in the house. There's Antonio Brown in the house. There are players now who's like, even without the option, they just want to break up. They just want to beef it out, and we'll figure it out. I don't think Dak has that mental makeup. But there's a situation where you're aging and you can get into a world where you're thinking it's going to be greener on the other side. And for Le'Veon,
It's a
it
numbers
wasn't.
game, man.
It's a
Does
numbers
he
game.
fall outside the top half of quarterbacks, or will he fall in the top half of the quarterbacks?
Top half.
So the way contracts are going, he's going to be around $24, $25 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to. If that's team friendly, there's no way Dak
But
doesn't walk away
I
happy.
think they're having a dispute about what team friendly is.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I don't think Stephen Jones says anything if they're of one accord, like, hey, we're going to do a team friendly deal that makes sense. He's putting this into the air and pushing back because, again, Marcel, I don't think it's just I think they've heard from Dak and his agent.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would care about the climate or Le'Veon or any of that if they were on the same page with Dak.
Aaron Rodgers is the top at 33.5. Low end, it has to be, the low has to be 22, 23.
Well,
it has to be.
In this negotiation, both sides have ammunition. Dak can say, I have the second most wins at the position since I got in the league. Dak can say, look, we were in the playoffs last year with low expectations. Dak can say, look at my 13-3 rookie year. Like, Dak can sit there and fight back. Do you really want
to cut on the tape?
Oh, man.
Did they hit pause?
Whitlock and Wiley, TJ Hushman's out and Eddie House are back. Time to get antisocial.
Trying to get paid.
Time to get antisocial. Darnell Smith, our social media manager. What's cracking?
Crack-a-lack-a,
in
maggot.
the streets?
Yeah, we're going to start off with your Chiefs, Whitlock.
Yeah.
Texas Tech alum Patrick Mahomes was at the National Championship game last night, turning up with the Red Raiders during their late game comeback. Meanwhile, his teammate Travis Kelce was next to him, celebrating a slightly different way. Chugging down a beer on toad.
Hydrates?
Right. Twitter was all over this. They love Travis Kelce out there living his best life. But Whitlock, do you like seeing your Chiefs turn up like this?
In the offseason, I can't complain, man. And so, no, he's having a good time. He's at the championship game.
What you mean in off-season? You covered the Chiefs. Even during season. Let's not get up here and lie about the game, man. And look, he's on his own time. I'm sure he got his workout in before. I just love the energy you get, because we've all been there. When you are in the league, but you go back to your old school and just hang, and they know you could buy all the pizza. Right. They know you can get all the beer. And you just sit in that section like, man, this feels amazing. I was proud to see those moments.
For Travis Kelce, you know, it brought him back to college. Like, man, I'm in this college environment. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a camera on me? Well, let me go ahead and finish it anyway. He's just having
That's
fun.
the new Gronk.
Yeah,
That's right,
there
right,
it
right.
is.
I mean, what Mahomes supposed to do? MVP, come back to the school, get everybody excited, hype. It's your school. You enjoy them. They got a chance to win a national championship. Your boy with you, your favorite target with you in the back throwing down beers. Live your best life, man.
Man, the best life.
All right, next.
Yeah, so Baker Mayfield had a unique way to pump up the Cleveland fans using a helium balloon. Take a listen.
What's up, guys? Just really excited for the season. Just want you guys to know that I'm working really hard. We're going to have a great season, and let's go Browns.
OBJ was all in on Baker's message, responding to the video saying, love this dude, live life, broski. But you guys like your QB being this goofy on social media?
Yeah, I think his teammates like it. Everybody likes it. Fans like it. You know, it's kind of dangerous, though, that he...
Yeah, I was thinking that part, but I was like, man, let him live. I like it because he has so many different levels of his personality that's on display. He could get snipey, too. Like, you know, I could do the goop.
Smoky.
I get smoky, too, right? I could go sun you. I could shun you. I could do the helium goofy stuff. Long as you real on social media and authentic with it, and if he makes a mistake, he'll own up to it. I like all his versions of himself.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Your quarterback having fun. He's not acting like he's bigger than the team. He's just having fun, man. That's what you do when you play sports. You don't try to make yourself bigger than the team. They're going to love him for this, man. Baker Mayfield, one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
And that's the culture that they're building over there. They're a looser type of culture, and he fits it perfect over there. And I think this is the thing, too, is you much rather have him sucking in some helium than anything else, right?
Yeah, it ain't legal in Cleveland, is it?
Right.
Yeah, David Irvin.
Is it legal?
Yeah, staying in the NFL, Antonio Brown has had a very busy offseason on Twitter, beefing with former teammates. Well, rapper Le'Veon Bell decided he needed to prove that it isn't all bad blood with him and his former teammates. Yesterday, he posted a private message between him and Steelers running back James Conner with the caption, I usually don't post private conversations, but this text just hit differently. I love you to death, bro. In this message, Conner showed his appreciation for the state of their relationship. But guys, do you think this is a shot at AB?
Yes. I think he's saying, and a shot is too strong. I think he's saying AB's crossed the line. I'm going to get on the other side of this line.
Exactly, and that is crossing the line, the DM. Just because if we don't have any code, if we don't have any ethics, then it's out of control. It's the Wild Wild West, and you don't want that. So, yeah, he crossed the line. So Le'Veon, like you said, is just trying to say, yoo-hoo, I'm on the other side, different colors.
Yeah, he basically is. Anybody that's trying to put me and AB in the same light, this right here gonna show you we completely different, brother. We ain't nothing alike. I'm not doing nothing he's doing. I would never do that. Me and James Conner actually get along. I want him to do well. AB on something else.
Yeah, he was telling them, hey, I don't know what was going on in them wide receiver rooms, but over in our room, we was supporting each other. I don't know what they was talking about, what they doing now, but we on the same page, even though we're not on the same team. You still my brother.
I got to get this out there, though. Juju, to me, took the first shot. Everybody keep going to AB. I'm telling you, that first picture, when AB was gone
against the Raiders,
and and then Juju sitting there with your boy in the background. Come on, man.
All right, we're going to move to the question of the day.
All right, guys, so last night after the NCAA title game, local legend Jim Hill interviewed LeBron James, and LeBron had an interesting answer when Hill asked him about the murder of rapper Nipsey Hussle. LeBron said, it's what we have to deal with in our own inner cities. We go to school with these guys. We play Little League football and basketball with these guys. And because of their motivation not being as much as ours, it becomes hate. It becomes, you made it, you left me here. They really start to hate you for that. Guys, do you agree that that's the problem within our inner cities?
That's the problem. All right, well, there's two levels to this. Let me give LeBron some respect and some credence to what he's saying. When you go back to the hood, it feels like this. Half of the people got love and respect for you. You did it, respect. And then there's another population that is sitting there saying, damn, I hate that you made it, and we from the same block, same opportunities, it felt like, same team, we grew up together. But I'm not mad at you, but I'm mad at myself. But then you keep showing them your life, their hate for themselves starts to turn towards hate for you. And if this killing them, one day, sometime, somehow, they may want to come kill you. I think that. But jealousy is a symptom everywhere. High society, low society, stop that. When you get some money, you see jealousy everywhere. The consequences are different, though. When you get paid and you got jealousy around you, they ain't trying to kill you. But when you ain't got something and there's jealousy around you, they feel the only thing they can do is take your life.
I think what he's saying is just the icing on the cake. That's the top layer. Cake is made up of so many different ingredients, and what we are seeing is that's the end of it, but it's inner city, there's drug problem. That's the problem, the drug problem. It's single parent homes where there is no father figure there and the mother's working, so the kid's basically raising itself. Then you got the gang life that it's so many different things, the lack of education, the proper education in the inner cities. And we know knowledge is power, and if they're not exposed to that, then how are they going to be able to pull themselves up out of this situation? That's just the top layer of it.
Yeah, low ambition.
I mean, he has a point. He has a point, but it's in the inner city. Rarely are there fathers around. I never met my father. I don't know what he looked like. I've never seen him. And that's a problem in the inner city. Education is not emphasized in the inner city. The only way we can make it out is sports or entertainment. That's pretty much every kid in the inner city. You're going to play sports, you're going to entertain, or you're going to be on the block hustling. And so when you do make it out, like you said, there's a lot of guys that when you come back, they happy that you're there. They can take a picture with you. They just want to be in your presence. But then there are some that say, man, he keep coming around here stunting. I'm getting that. And so that problem is never going to go away, because until you get a father that can discipline you and teach you the right way and show you the right way to do things and emphasize education. If you don't make it in sports, it is okay.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem.
I think you guys have touched on a lot of great things. I watched this interview last night after the game. Jim, they kept previewing it, and so I wanted to see. I wasn't expecting the Nipsey Hussle question at the end, and to be honest with you, I was disappointed. Just to be quite honest, Jim Hill asked a specific, what can we learn from the Nipsey Hussle deal? And to me, this isn't it. Some of the things you guys have talked about are much bigger issues than a guy growing up with you in Little League and you saying him not having the same motivation as you or him not having the drive as you. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, that's a joke to me when you consider what's really going on in some of these poor communities. Again, the absence of fathers. You can't build a great community without a family structure. And within our inner city communities, the family structure has been destroyed. And so when I hear LeBron talk about these very surface level, petty, almost an elitist attitude, it's like we're better than them and they're jealous of us. I don't think that's at the heart of the violence in the inner city at all. I certainly don't think it relates to this Nipsey Hussle situation. I don't think this was jealousy. This was a fallout from gang activity.
But gang activity, the activity is the part of the jealousy. Like, we got active. We have a problem. We from the same hood. I grew up in that neighborhood. Like, I know all these dynamics. The jealousy is the element of expression.
What draws someone to a gang, though, Marcellus?
Oh, the home is, look.
When there's no family structure.
Like I said, something's going to raise your kids.
Yes.
Either it's going to be you or them streets.
Yes.
Like, you got to make that choice. That family has to be built for that. Yes, I think he was talking more to the dynamic of, wow, this is the first celebrity rapper from L.A. that got killed. This is not Tupac, who's not from, this is why L.A. is reacting like this.
And it's not, it's so much of, if you just read Nipsey Hussle's story and the stuff he was doing in the community, nobody was doing this, man. And that's why. Nobody was starting programs in the community, educational-wise, giving people jobs. And these people that are involved and are in this situation, in this community, they know this, and now it's gone.
Right.
Whitlock and Wiley, Eddie House is back, and we're joined now by Yahoo NBA insider Chris Haynes. Let's move to LeBron James, whose Hollywood exploits have increased dramatically since joining the Lakers, but not everyone is excited to join him on the silver screen. The Greek Freak just revealed that he turned down a role in LeBron's upcoming movie Space Jam 2, saying he doesn't like being Hollywood. And Brian Windhorst of ESPN recently reported that LeBron is having trouble convincing other stars to join him in the movie. That leads to the question, are NBA stars tired of LeBron James?
No. And this is not a shot at LeBron James directly. This is a sign of the times and the difference in era. And we've talked about this before. Michael Jordan comes out with a new shoe. I'm going to an NBA All-Star game. I'm going to do the dunk contest. I'm going to play hard in the game because I need to launch this shoe. I need to get this thing off the ground, use this platform, this NBA as it's growing to help elevate me. Space Jam 1 comes out in 1996. Jordan between championships and all that greatness. Oh, man, I do a movie that's going to help elevate me. This game is growing, all this. You get to 2019 with social media, and dudes make more money off the court than they do playing the damn game that got them the money in the first place. And then you say, hey, bro, I got a script for you. I'm not an actor. So what? It's Space Jam 2. You already did that. Sequels don't usually turn out better. So what? Here you go. You got 2 weeks. You're going to be displaced. You're going to be out here, and you travel. You got to work out different, do everything different. And what's the payoff? And your team sits there and says, they're not going to pay you a grip. 2, is going to be inconvenient towards you. 3, you're going to get killed for it because Michael Jordan's not in it. It's the sequel with LeBron. We know how social media reacts to anything new. It's just not the same payoff. This is an era shot more so than the shot at the king and what he's offering.
I say yes for this reason. They feel they caught LeBron. They feel him coming closer to them, and they be in the face of the league. So if they haven't feel like they caught him, they like he's in arm reach right now. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm tired of everybody saying that LeBron is the best. I want to get some credit that he's falling back. He didn't play a full season. I played as many games, way more games than him. My year was better than him. Like James Harden can feel that way. Like the last 3 years, I mean, James Harden has incredible last 3 years of basketball, and he can feel like he can put himself over there. So they're getting tired of not LeBron per se, but they're all the noise that surrounds him. And it's like, okay, he's not that same guy no more that he was 3-4 years ago. He's still balling out, putting up numbers, but to them, it's an even playing field. 3-4 years ago, they would have clearly said LeBron was the best player, but now they feel like they are.
There's a couple. Both of you guys make good points.
Thank you.
First and foremost, LeBron's not actually going out there and asking guys who want to be, in the Space Jam 2. That's the directors. That's their job doing that. So they're not turning necessarily LeBron down. Another thing is this. Players have obligations over the summer. They go to China. They go to Japan. They have certain camps that, across the country. They don't want to be displaced for a week or 2 weeks to go and do this. And Space Jam 2 just doesn't have the same luster as it did back. Like, nobody's watching Bugs Bunny anymore, really. You know what I mean? Like, my kid don't know who Bugs Bunny is.
He doesn't, right.
They know SpongeBob.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chris, are you a Godfather fan? You like the movie The Godfather?
I'm not really.
Okay.
Not
When
really.
Don Corleone asks a favor,
Uh-huh.
you do it whether it's an inconvenience
Right.
or not. That's why I really like Eddie's point, and I think you make a great one as well, Marcellus. But Eddie's point to me is just like, it's really not a shot at LeBron. It's a recognition that, his power and hold on the league is starting to diminish. And at the end of the day, the NBA is a competition among some of the biggest egos in the history of the planet. And when they smell weakness in any form, and again, it's not that he's weak, but he's just not as strong as he used to be, it turns into the law of the jungle.
Yeah.
It's my time to eat.
What was he ever, because we're talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had that clout. People looked up to him. He was the godfather. Can we say, even in LeBron's prime, was he ever viewed as the godfather amongst players?
I tell you why not, is because of his demeanor. and how he is.
Dallas
He's a
series.
first kind of, he's a
And the
pass
Dallas
first kind of
series.
guy. He's not a stone cold killer. Now, you talk about Mike, it was different. Mike's coming for your throat, so they had to respect that. Kobe coming for your throat. They got to respect that. They know that LeBron might ease into something. You know, they've seen him at times not be a killer. Not that he can't be it, but he does it in spurts. He's not 100% killer.
I think LeBron suffered from social media in this respect. Michael Jordan, the conversation wasn't full about him in terms of who didn't like him, who didn't agree with some of his decisions in personal life, the things, his indiscretions. Whatever you saw as a wart on Michael Jordan in his game, whether it was the selfish first 7 years that people say you're never going to win like that, Jordan, we never had a collection of opinions. With LeBron, everything he does, kill it, scrutinize it, beat it up, does it survive it? So I think in that respect, he never was going to get where Jordan was because Jordan lived in an era of highlights. I mean, and all you saw was he got a fresh suit on. Man, he dropped 40. Fresh suit again. Like, we didn't get anything.
That's all you see.
Hopping in a Lamborghini.
Jumping in a Lamborghini. And now you
Smoking
see
a
too
cigar.
much of LeBron. But here's the thing, I respect what you said. No one wants to feed the king talk when I'm trying to be the king. And it's not about LeBron, sorry, or I don't like you. It's just, I'm in reach.
It's my time.
I could go
It's
get
my
this.
time.
So
That's
I
what it is.
respect that Cass is probably tapping out for that.
That's the law of human nature, the jungle, anything. It's like there's always another lion that wants to be the king. And when they see the other lions, oh, he's limping and got a groin injury.
Go over there and get that.
You call it Giannis Scar?
And he got a pride full of bad ones over there. I'm trying to go see about something.
And they gonna go hunt for me.
You feel me?
And I'm just going to add this, and it's going to irritate people, but I think this is an issue as it relates to that movie. And is if you look at LeBron's projects for the Shop, Survivor's Remorse.
That was good.
No, it wasn't.
Don't do that.
Oh, my God.
Don't do that. I used to watch that faithfully. Keep going. My bad.
None of it is at the elite level.
Oh, okay, I hear you.
And so, again, when you start saying, I'm going to attach my brand to something that if it comes out like the Shop and some of this other stuff, it's not going to be a hit. Why take that risk?
I got to say, you got to give him a pass on that of being elite level. He's just now getting his feet into this side of the world, you know, trying to get himself prepared for life after basketball.
Not
So
wait.
when he first why wait? When the only way to
Because
get better
Kobe-
is something, only way to
Kobe waited and got an Oscar right off top.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kobe, he did do
Kobe
that.
wasn't in it, though.
Good point.
What was that?
Good point. Good
Kobe
point.
wasn't
But
even in
I
it,
still
he got an Oscar.
I still think that he's going trial by error, so he's going to fix this. I don't think he's a guy. Nobody comes into something as elite right away.
Yeah, he's outside his comfort zone, so you
Yeah.
got to respect that.
Exactly.
And then let's not overthink this. Giannis has already been on record saying, I ain't working out with these dudes. I got secret sauce. You ever had the homie taking the test with you, and he take his test with his elbow
All
out,
day.
and it's all over your paper? I'm like, if you don't lean back so I can see what you're doing, Giannis is taking his test like this.
You don't know nothing about that, Marcel.
Hell yeah, I do it. I needed some help sometimes. So Giannis is not leaning back, and y'all not getting my secret sauce for 2 weeks up here in Hollywood. It's just not happening.
Right.
Oh, man.
And then you get a read on how he played, like, because they're going to play one-on-one. He's like, oh, he like this. This is his tendency.
Boom.
And don't think that they ain't going to have a camera in there so you could see all these
Oh, they
things
will
and
have
tape
that.
this. So you know exactly, you're going to go back, and that's going to be fuel for what you're going to do moving forward in the next season.
For this project to continue to move on and to keep the hype surrounded around it, you can't have reports leading up to it that star players have turned down those roles.
Yeah, that's
And
bad.
so, because when the movie comes out, people gonna start looking at, oh, these are all B picks right here, B and C selections right here. So,
Cal Korver.
That's too much privilege. He ain't gonna do it.
Too much privilege. I like that.
That's a good segue. Before we go, I'd like to congratulate Utah Jazz guard Cal Korver on his entry into woke heaven. Korver walked through the pearly gates yesterday, shortly after the Players Tribune published his white privilege manifesto that neatly touched every Silicon Valley-inspired talking point known to man. Blue Trek Twitter lost its mind, hailing Korver's well-orchestrated word salad as the white man's letter from a Birmingham jail. According to my informed sources, here's what Korver will find in his woke afterlife. Hundreds of thousands of retweets and likes, a VIP pass to the Sean King and DeRay McKesson meet and greet, and a half dozen almost version Instagram models. Here's what he won't find in woke heaven: solutions, equality, or reality. Woke heaven only exists on social media. the matrix built by the tech companies to dumb the masses to the point that we think delusional groupthink spewed by millionaire celebrities and athletes is courageous original thought. There were no original thoughts in Culver's piece. It was a collage of everyday Twitter talking points that some people found powerful because they appeared under the byline of a white millionaire basketball player. Some people believe the white man's ice is colder. I don't. Culver's piece was at best a surface-level buzzword critique of the American criminal justice system. At worst, it was a condescending, misguided bigotry that argued white men such as Corver must take on the burden of feeling very, very sorry for black people and the responsibility of uplifting us from dire circumstances. White Jesus nailed himself to a cross, employed his white disciples to do the same, and predictably, the black Twitter congregation caught the Holy Ghost and began speaking in tongues. We're suckers for white saviors. Corver's manifesto was a green book meets the white shadow, an Oscar winner and a TV classic rolled into one Players Tribune hot take, except no one is getting saved. Corver's magnum opus is just one more brick along the road paved to hell by good intentions, virtue signaling, and racial demagoguery. Whitlock and Wiley, joined now by Eddie House and Chris Haynes. Time to play Hot Clock. We'll each take 24 seconds to give our hot take on some big story in the NBA. Let's start with Kevin Durant, who will soon be a free agent, but according to Frank Isola, should be hesitant about joining the Knicks after watching LeBron's disaster of a first season with the Lakers. Marcellus, do you think LeBron's issues here in LA should affect KD's decision?
Absolutely not. Just to make it to the league, you're one in a million. To be a superstar, you're one in a billion. You got to do you. You know, don't be scared because somebody else tried it and they're failing in the moment. This is year one of year 4 for LeBron James with the Lakers. So if I'm Kevin Durant, I can learn from it. I can see some of the parallels. Ownership issues, they're looking in the past. But look, if I show up, I'm building a team around Kevin Durant. That to me is a special starting point.
Chris Haynes. Should KD be hesitant about the Knicks?
Now, if Kevin Durant does choose to go to the New York Knicks, he will not do what LeBron did and go to the Lakers without assurance that they're going to bring in another star that season. Kevin Durant will have assurance. He will have a sidekick. He's not making that move ISO and solo. And that's all I have. And I'm up to day's time. I'm pushing the ball up. I'm getting the shot up before the buzzer.
Pace and space.
I like it.
They thought they had Paul George, though.
No, I don't think he should be hesitant. Because he's, like you said, I think he's going to have a plan going in. He's not going to go into this thing blind like LeBron and think, oh, maybe I could land somebody in the offseason, or maybe we can trade for somebody and then make a push after the trade deadline. He going in with some assurances like, I know for sure he coming. We going to sign this dude. We got everything locked up. This is how we going to make this happen. And we might have the number 1 pick, so Zion going to be here with us. Oh, yeah, we got a good plan over here. So he shouldn't be if he has a plan.
Paul George.
I think I agree with all of y'all. He should not make a fear-based decision at all. Why? And he's a totally different situation than LeBron James. LeBron James is 34, 35 years old. KD is still in his prime right now, and he should feel like a lion that's out here to go conquer the jungle. And so, LeBron's situation, I would be observant of it, but no decision should be made off LeBron's failure. All right. In that same column, Isola also says that Durant and Kyrie Irving are already discussing who should sign with the Knicks first because execs and agents around the league think whoever signs first is the leader. Marcellus, does it actually matter who signs first between KD and Irving with the Knicks?
It shouldn't, but it will. This is where we are in today's climate of pettiness, where before it used to be, who's the best player on the team? Well, damn it, it's their team. No matter when they came. They could have came the last day before the playoffs. But now we're in a place where someone on your team is going to bring up, you know what, KD? You had to share your team in OKC. Had to share your team in Golden State. Maybe you need to get to this first because of public perception. Sad, but
Chris? Does it matter who signs first?
It shouldn't matter, but it will. One thing about people got to know about free agency is that when a player agrees to a deal, that agreement was happened weeks ago, days ago. It doesn't matter. Everything else is just a perception to put on for everybody, a facade just to see. So initially, I think that will be important, sadly to say. It will be important to say who agrees first or who signs first because it's going to be viewed that player followed that player.
Well, anybody that believe in that got to be crazy. Because it don't matter. It's just timing, on that. But I don't think it's a big deal. It's not about those two who signs first out of those two. Have you seen the Knicks roster? Who's going to be the last person they bring in to sign with them? Because they're not going to be able to get it done just KD and Kyrie with what they got left over in New York. They're going to need another piece that could play and maybe some other role players that could fill in. They got a lot of work to do. So it doesn't matter about those two guys. It's about who they're going to sign after they sign those two guys.
Point.
Zion. This doesn't matter to me at all because it's been settled. Kevin Durant is 7 foot and a better player than Kyrie Irving. I don't care if Kevin Durant signs in December. And once he shows up, he's the best player on the team, and it's his team. And if Kyrie, now again, if this is an issue, that's a red flag because Kyrie's a bit delusional, thinking he's in any way on the same level as Kevin Durant.
You don't think he won
Your team.
Well, Kyrie to New York might not be a done deal yet. Reportedly, Irving will grant LeBron James and the Lakers an interview during free agency. Marcellus, what % chance do you give the Lakers and LeBron of landing Kyrie Irving?
Of landing them, 17%. Pretty low. But I am going to give major kudos to Kyrie Irving, who missed the first shot in his opportunity with LeBron. It was something that was unrealized in terms of potential, even though they won the championship. And he said, you know what? I may go back up to that same spot and drain this next one. That is a major, major adult move to say, I'm going to at least entertain this to see if I can go back on something I messed up.
All right, Chris. What % chance Kyrie returns to LeBron?
10% chance. And look, this is all bad for the Lakers. Yay, you get a meeting with Kyrie Irving. This ain't Milwaukee. This ain't Minnesota. You don't get happy off of meetings. You get the signature. The signature.
Sign that thing.
If you don't get the signature, it bombs, it fails. So if I'm the Lakers and LeBron, I'd rather not have the meeting because then it'll be just a travesty if he stays in Boston and goes somewhere else.
Eddie, what %?
I'm surprised at your math because you Ivy Leaguer. I don't know about your math, but I do simple math, right? It's 3 opportunities, right? It's stay in Boston, go to New York, or stay in LA. So it's 33%, right? That's what I got right now.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
You got a percent somewhere high.
Yeah, I do, but no, ain't nowhere high.
What that other 1%?
It's with me. Hold on, let me pull that thing out.
What education system is that?
That 1 for 3, 33%. You know that. What you talking about? 10% with only 3 options. You better stop it.
Listen.
I'm ashamed of you, Marcellus, your math.
I'm going to go 2%.
2%. There you go.
The reason why I'm saying
That was all state education, too.
It get lower and lower as you go. Look, boom, boom, boom.
I'm going 2% because this is a sympathy meeting. You ever get a sympathy?
Hey.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make LeBron look bad. I'm going to do him this solid and go out there and have a conversation with the Lakers.
That's going to make him look worse.
Like the Rooney rule,
All right, Lonzo Ball, who reportedly has signed with CAA as his new representation amid a ton of drama with his big baller brand, Marcellus. Do you think Lonzo went to CAA in a move to distance himself from LeVar?
No, not at all. And I'm tired of public sentiment trying to distance this son from this father. I don't give a damn how crazy his father is. That's my daddy. And look, I go to an agent, I go to CAA, I don't care where I land. My dad's still going to be involved with my life, and we should root for that instead of rooting against it because we don't like LeVar Ball.
Marcellus rep by CAA. Go ahead.
I am representing. Throw that A up, baby. He going to make that money, too. Look what I do. Look how sharp I look up here.
All right, Chris.
No, this is not a sign that he's distancing himself from his dad. It's a sign he's trying to recoup some of that money he lost in the shoe deal, the big baller brand moves they made.
Oh, you mean his dad's
His
company?
dad.
Yeah.
His dad's company.
Wow.
Yeah. No, look, come on now. We can't distance him from his father's son. Hey, but as far as business-wise, I do think they need to part ways in that regard, but no, I'm not. Yeah, I know Eddie House feels strongly about this. He went crazy yesterday.
Because it's the only. Oh, this the only time. Oh, my bad. This the only time that I've seen the media really try to drive a wedge between a father and son, and for a father to do something. I actually seen it in college. Mike Bibby and his father. They tried to drive a wedge between that Henry, but that was a different. He wasn't there. Where this guy is there, and they're still trying to drive a wedge. But I don't think he's trying to distance. You can't distance yourself from your father. Maybe some business, but you can never really distance yourself from somebody that's been there and supportive your whole life.
Well, I'll just say that this wedge that y'all think the media is trying to drive between LeVar and Lonzo, you can only be talking about me because I brought up this topic, and I'm not trying to drive a wedge.
You ain't the only one.
Look, No,
But
listen,
you in that category.
I know. Let me tell you who's driving the wedge between LeVar and Lonzo.
Tell me.
LeVar. He came up with Big Baller Brand. It flopped and failed. He didn't sign a deal with Nike. And now he's going with the big corporate mainstream. This isn't a disruptive move going to CAA. This is a mainstream move. Uncle Jimmy's here. Let's get to the Big Dummy of the Day award.
Well, first of all, there's no doubt who's the big dummy of the day. The big dummy of the day is the person that admitted in front of the world that he cheated on his test, which could possibly explain how he might have got into Columbia.
I said I tried to cheat, but he kept leaning over like Giannis. I need to
Never
back up.
cheat on somebody that ride the same bus as you.
Where were you when I was growing up? That's deep. That's deep right there. Oh,
That's
man.
true. Man, you kind of iced out today.
Iced out. Let me tell you, God is good. God is good.
Donations.
Okay, y'all welcome to come and visit me at the Cash Money Brothers Gold Front, check cashing, Chinese food, Church of God in Christ. Come on and see me. Yes, sir.
Every store leading up to the church right there.
Here's a highlight from our discussion earlier about Aaron Rodgers.
Stop it.
He appears to be the kind of person who is strong-willed and comfortable with conflict. I'm that way. People like that are easily misunderstood and mischaracterized.
I don't see his fingerprints. I don't see the evidence of Aaron Rodgers at the scene all the time of all these incidents. It's a lot of circumstantial talk, and it's gotten a little dated, and I'm with Aaron Rodgers on this one.
All right, Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah.
We had a good discussion about Aaron Rodgers. Me and Marcellus both kind of liked Aaron Rodgers and what he did here. What's your take?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it done my heart, it done my soul well to hear you admit that you just like Aaron Rodgers. Only problem is, just like she said, you just didn't go far enough.
What did he leave out? What did he leave out?
Did I tell you how happy I am that you back?
You did yesterday.
I lied. All right, look, I need you to be quiet. All right, now, where was we?
Yeah.
Okay, what did Jason say? Jason said that he and Aaron Rodgers are, they're comfortable with conflict, I think was the word he used.
Yeah, he did, that phrasing.
Is that the word that they use for egomaniacs nowadays?
Own it.
So, wait a minute. It's not that y'all feel that y'all the smartest person in the room. You just comfortable with conflict.
Preach, Uncle Jimmy,
You
preach.
comfortable with the conflict you inflict upon others.
Preach, Uncle.
Hey, man, all by myself?
Hey, man, preach.
Listen here to me. Listen to me now. I'm going to tell you what my nephew comfortable with. Okay? He comfortable with a Big Mac and a large fry. He comfortable with Doritos. He comfortable with Cheetos. He comfortable with burritos. Now that's where he's in his comfort zone. Well, hallelujah.
Did you have something to say about Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I'm going to come and say I'd rather have a Ben Roethlisberger than an Aaron Rodgers any day. You understand me? At least Ben is willing to make some adjustments.
Like what?
You know, he quit the radio show. He's not ignoring his critics. See, at least Big Ben is striving to do better. Huh? You know, well, granted. Now, old AB, he might have fudged the truth a little bit. But you know, Ben, that's why they call him Big Ben. He took the big road. He took the high road. You understand what I'm saying?
You think Aaron Rodgers should have said nothing?
Listen, let me tell you something. A hit dog will holler any day. And right now, Aaron Rodgers up here talking about, huh? If something in that article wasn't true, you know what Aaron Rodgers should have done? Should have shut his mouth. Look here, women lie on Uncle Jimmy all the time.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Uncle Jimmy don't pay it no mind. You understand me? Hey, my work out here in these streets, woo, it speak for itself. Huh? What they call me? They call me the notorious B.I. Jimmy. Yes, sir. Huh? What it say? Hey, I'd like to dedicate this to all my ex-wives out there who told me I'd never amount to nothing. Hey, it was all a dream. I used to read Playboy magazines. Now I'm living life right in the limelight because my nephew done got my money right. Hey, if you don't know, well, now you know. Baby. Hey, in the name of Jesus, of course.
Oh, my God. That's how you sign it off. You a nut. You okay? You okay? He gonna breathe. Man.
I've gone up.
Sweating. You going
My
up to
approval
heaven?
rating
That's the first. You don't hear
on
that too
Aaron
much?
Rodgers.
Doritos.
67.
Cheetos and burritos.
Take it over, Marcellus.
I will take it over because I think we in full agreement today, man. 76 Aaron Rodgers job performance. Why does it go up? Because he's trying to be a different, better leader. Why does his character go up? Because he has shots to fire and he's trying not to. But he's like, stay off of me. Get off my scent. I'm good. Now you okay, brother?
Yeah, I'm okay, but I am thinking about Doritos and Cheetos.
And burritos.
Hey, he getting homesick right now. Lord done took him there. Lord, I need me a burrito, a taco.